Hi all, this is Systemshark from hackersgaming.com and WCReplays.com, bringing to you an audio commentary for the Blizzard Warcraft 3 Season 3 audio commentary contest. For this AC, I'm going to be getting some assistance from some familiar voices you may recognize from this other Blizzard game, World of Warcraft. Yeah, I've never heard of it either. Anywho, I'd like to start off by saying, unfortunately, due to illness, the role of the Archmage tonight will be played by a baby Murloc. If you want to go ahead and get this game synced up at the 2-minute mark at the 1x speed, I think my friend Victor has some spare time on his hand, and he's agreed to step down from his throne in Blackwing's lair to help us start this AC. So whenever you're ready, dude.
Let the games begin.
Alright, let's get this unpaused in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, unpause. Both players have started off with standard base builds and standard hero choices, and they've decided to creep the lower level green camps outside of their base instead of opting for a more aggressive approach by harassing each other's bases. Both players actually sent out scouts to different gold mines to figure out where their opponent was, but have come up short so far, so at this moment they don't know where each other are kind of located at. You'll notice that Vu's going for the slower tech build. He's getting a few grunts out early instead of going for a straight quick tech to tier 2. Both players again finishing up their green camps over there. Bajark at his base has built a tower in order to try to prevent any type of harassment that Vu might do to him while he's still in his base there. Right now, Bajark is just now passing the Goblin Merchant where Vu is attempting to creep, and he thinks he sees something.
Yeah, over there.
No, he thinks he sees something. He knows he sees something. Right now, he's just trying to decide if he wants to make this creepjack happen or not. Both players instantly decide to focus on their respected heroes there, because at this moment, those are the weaker targets to hit, because they're int heroes and you want to be able to force them back and delay their creeping time, and also just if you don't want to make that fight happen, that's what you actually do, is you want to target their hero. Now, and that's not to say you don't want to target their hero every time. Usually it's a better idea to target their units. And you'll see here that Bajark has left his footman behind for Vu to get some free hits on, so that's what he's doing right now. Bajark really wants to creep this Null Brute camp because it usually drops a good item. What he's actually looking for here is Sentry Wards, and that's what actually does drop for him. You'll see here in a second. In order to try to steal some experience and make this creepjack happen for himself, Bajark has recruited 5 militia from his base, and he's bringing them up right now to help try to get some kills on, maybe even get a kill on the Farseer. This is actually a really risky move. He's teching right now. He's bringing 5 militia to help him. He could lose all those militia to either creeps or to the Farseer. So it's something that you want to be really careful in doing. If you don't get this surround, it's bad. Now the Farseer really wants to get those Sentry Wards, because that's what he originally wanted to finish the creep set for. So he's risking inevitable surround here. He does pick it up, but fortunately does get surrounded by the footman and militia. A footman does die and a militia does die, so for the cost of being off wood for so long, losing a footman and 1 militia, he's forced the orc to spend 350 gold on the town portal. So I personally think that was a good idea, but I think I see a goblin over there. What did you think, man? Goblin, are you over there?
Yo!
That's cool. Hey, what did you think of that move that guy did over there?
Time is money, friend. Amateur.
That's not very nice, Goblin. We don't like to poke fun at the players here. It's not something we condone. That's definitely not something I'm going to tolerate in my audio commentary, man. I'm sorry. That's it. Alright, man. So right now both players are just recuperating from that little bit of creepjack. At this point, Vu wants to put a little bit of pressure on the human base, try to take out some early farms if he can. And he's actually laying that Sentry Ward, one of the Sentry Wards that he got from his base, from that creep camp right in Bajark's base. Now Bajark should have known this. By clicking on the Farseer, he can tell that this Sentry Ward has 2 charges on it, and 1 has been used. So we can kind of assume that that little interaction at the base was just to drop a Sentry Ward, and he could have gotten some dust maybe to clear that out of there. It's really important to not let your opponent know what you're doing, and for this entire game, Vu's really got the tabs kept on Bajark, and it really helps him in this game to get a good advantage. Both players kind of going back and forth here, trying to do a little bit of damage to either the summons or the grunts, or right now Vu's putting a lot of focus fire on some footmen that he can do. Again, it's just to delay the tech and delay their creeping. So if they don't have a lot of life, they can't creep that much, and it kind of slows them down a little bit. Right now, Bajark just got the Beastmaster with Quill Beast, and he knows that this is the perfect time to hit, because right now Orc is getting their Tier 2 buildings up. He's actually a little bit late. The Beast area is just now completed as Bajark comes into the base, and he's got all his summons up. He's got his Quill Beast and his Water Elementals, and usually this is a good time for Human to hit Orc so they can get the tier buildings take him down. Unfortunately, the buildings are already constructed, and there's no other buildings like burrows being constructed, so it's not a very good idea to stick around here. You'll notice Vu putting, again, a lot of fire on these summons, because the way this works is in priority levels, if you target the summon and you get the experience from it before it expires, that's a good thing, because that's experience that otherwise would have been lost in the game due to the timer. You know, as soon as it expires, you know, there's no chance of you getting that experience or anything like that. So it's good to want to put the pressure on there. It's also not good to lose them. So you'll see both players microing out their summons. They don't want to just give away that free experience, but they know that out of the other units, they didn't have to pay for that unit to use it. So it's a little bit of a give and take. Quill Beast at the end there just expired. You'll notice before Wolf got a last hit on it, he was trying to pursue it and get that little bit of experience. Farseer and Torn Chieftain now out for Vu. Vu is going for the Shockwave and the Chain Lightning combination, also known as Shockwave or Chainwave. That's what I'm talking about. Chainwave is very powerful versus Human. They usually have a lot of lower HP tier units and tier 2 units and tier 1 units. So Chainwave will really tear them up, and the only way to really counter that is to get healing scrolls, which Vu actually buys a lot of during this game to kind of keep them away from Bajark. Bajark now got a few sorcerers out and a priest. He wants to continually put the pressure on Vu, but there's a sentry ward that was in Bajark's base, so Vu knew that Bajark was coming. He's got enough time to finish off the creep camp that he was at, and he gets the item there. And right now he knows that the Beastmaster is way out in front and won't have a Scroll of Town portal, so he uses Chainwave, and boom, Beastmaster will go down. Both players now just recuperating after that little bit of a skirmish. Bajark thinks he still has the advantage here after doing a little bit of damage during the surround attempt on, or the kill of the Beastmaster. He brings more militia again to fortify his units here. But the Orc army is using Chainwave to extreme potential, and in order to stop the confrontation, Vu has decided to put the pressure on the Archmage, which forces the Archmage to Town Portal. Gets a Sorcerer's kill out of it, and he doesn't lose any units at all. So that was definitely a good move by Vu to put the pressure on the Archmage. Vu needs to wait until he knows he has to wait until he gets a good amount of Demolishers to counter those casters. Those casters are unarmored units, and they're going to take extra from the Demolishers, which he's producing at the moment. You'll see him, he just killed a peon there to meet a food count of 50, because he's going to produce another Demolisher here in a second. And the Demolisher, he's going to have his second Demolisher coming out now. He will lose his first Demolisher that he's got out at the moment during a skirmish that he's going to have at this Goblin Merchant, which Bajark is creeping at the moment. The Demolishers are definitely a good counter to Sorceresses. Just if you can, plus with Ensnare, you'll actually see some really good Ensnare and Demolisher usage here in this game with Vu. Vu's going to use Ensnare, and then like all in a fluid motion, the Demolisher volley is going to come in the air as soon as Ensnare lands on the Sorceress, and he can really make the fights happen and make them happen in his favor using Ensnare. So right now he sees he catches him creeping, just finished creeping the Goblin Merchant camp, and he wants to make the fight happen, so he ensnares the Sorceress, and he starts laying back. You know, he knows the Demolisher's got the range on him, so he's going to be able to sit there and fire on that Sorceress all until Ensnare fails. So he's got a front line set up. He uses Chainwave. Again, he's trying to do all the damage to the Sorceresses, because they're going to be the ones that are actually doing the damage to his grunts. That magic damage is doing a lot of heavy damage to his grunts. And you'll see him puts a lot of focus fire with his wolves on the Archmage, and the Archmage gets dangerously low at 16 life and just barely gets away at 4 HPs now. If you watch that, the wolves almost killed the Archmage here. Archmage is running back. He doesn't have a Scroll Town portal or any healing. Just barely makes it out here. You'll see some really good micro with Bajark here using slow on those wolves to stop them from reaching the Archmage as the Archmage retreats far into the back of his base. Uses Invis again just as a final precautionary measure so that Wolf does not get near him. He uses Invis to save his Archmage. So it's definitely a good move by Vu. He got a good advantage there. All those units are all slowed at the moment. He did make a really good amount of pressure at the moment there, so he just had to reposition that Sentry Ward. Sentry Ward had just faded earlier, and he wants to use his other Sentry Ward to continually keep tabs on Bajark's army here. Where the Sentry Ward is placed now, he's able to see Bajark coming in and out of both sides of this on the map No Wood here. So he's going to know where Bajark is.